Hi friends, recently I've been finding myself asking the question for a beginner in Valorant like me, what is the most important thing to focus on at the early stages, aim or game sense? Mostly people are arguing that increasing your aim is going to help you win fights, but then other people argue that game sense would help you win rounds. What I did is I played only Omen and ISO focusing on aim mechanics and Omen focusing on game sense, and I did this for 10 matches, and obviously I'm a complete beginner, so I'm never going to have good aim sense or good aim by the end of 10 matches, but the goal of this was to say which one I felt I was doing better on, which one made more sense to me at the end of it. So this is obviously coming from a complete beginner's perspective. Actually, this is helping me make up my mind what to focus on for the next couple of months, so let's see what happens. Thanks to everyone who subscribed last week. It was awesome how many subscribers I got, so if you're into watching a beginner's journey in Valorant, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It means a lot. So essentially the argument for aim is a pretty simple one. It boils down to the fact that the team that gets the most headshots is going to win, and if you have got really good, like godlike aim, you're going to get lots of headshots and kills. You're going to top the frags, which means that you're more likely to win the game. So basically practice the aim. The argument for the proponents is that the game sense doesn't really matter at lower elos. It's all about fragging and getting lots of kills. We've all kind of seen those smurfs just running around getting 40 kills per match, and we know how hard it is to beat them. So I guess essentially it kind of stems from kind of like trying to become more like that smurf type player, and you do that by having good aim. So you should just focus on your aim. It doesn't really matter if someone outplays you, because if you can react quickly to them, you're going to kill them essentially. So that's sort of basically the aim argument in a nutshell. So because your skills are really simple to use on ISO and they're all about killing and winning duels, it's a very easy agent to play when you're trying to focus on improving your aim. You can put all your energy and focus simply into securing kills, getting around corners properly, peeking, just really the fundamentals. And as you can see here, getting those kills can help win the round. One of the things I like about ISO 2 is it allows me to play really aggressive. Like here, I like lurking in the middle and just trying to pick people off. And I just feel like with ISO, because I'm focusing on getting those kills, I find that a lot more simple to do, if that makes sense. I'm a very aggressive player, so and I really like being on site first, and I really like pushing, so, you know, kind of just going around and trying to get kills and pushing in people's faces is what I like to do. Okay, fuck it, I'm going in, baby. You're either coming with me or you're not.
One enemy remaining.
Of course, you can suck people up out of the match and into your ulti and kill them there, which is sometimes helpful. And let's not forget how damn good those shields are, which is what makes ISO such a good duelist. You're able to just like get through a lot of duels back to back, which is awesome. And then the final thing is just being able to push around the back of the enemies. Again, just being hyper aggressive. I just find with me, the more aggressive I am, the better I do. The more I play passive or defensive, the worse I do. And ISO just allows me to focus solely on just worrying about getting kills.
Disappear. Breaking them.
Of course, the downside of this is I often run into fights and be overly aggressive and get myself killed. Okay, they're getting behind us. So we need to push in, Finn. Come on. Don't push in. There's fire in there. Not a good idea. Okay, so then we get to the game sense argument, which is a little bit more nuanced. Game sense is essentially things like map awareness, positioning, communication, and knowing what your enemies are doing. But basically, to me, game sense is about outplaying your opponents. It's not going to necessarily make you win duels, but it's going to make you win rounds. And it's not that people that say game sense is more important are saying that aim isn't important, but you train your aim in things like aim training, the practice range, and deathmatch, and so you're better off using ranked games to develop your game sense. And the lower elo bracket is the perfect place to start developing that game sense as you rank up alongside learning your aim in the other modes I just discussed. So obviously, Omen, you have smokes which you can use to like play around and get kills.
Like peak or now?
Peak.
I peak silver 1.
One enemy.
I mean, there's just so much you can do with smokes. Like, I don't even know 1% of what you can do. You know, like the one-way smokes. But I know that in this, we kept losing to this team. And then I put the 2 smokes, which you can see there. And then it allowed us to get on site and plant. There's just so many things you can do with smokes, which really will increase your game sense and your outplay potential. And I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of it. So, but even having not scratched the surface of it, I was able to really help the team, you know, get the spikes down by using smokes, holding the enemy team off so that they couldn't get onto the side.
Standing.
I also just find myself to be way more like team oriented on Omen and less worried about like securing kills, and I'm just more worried, I guess, about winning rounds. I'm a bit more lurky, a little less aggressive. I don't know what it is, it's just a mindset, I guess. But yeah, a bit more slow and considered, I guess.
Clutch.
Of course, there's the ability for you to use the ulti and then sneak up behind them and get like lots of nice kills, like I do here where I finish off their enemy team and win the game.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Watch them run. Weapon here.
Spike down C.
You can of course use the utility for reconnaissance purposes. I'm going to do a high risk play here. Yep, and then there's that. There's the off-angle teleports that help kill enemies over and over again. And then let us not forget the phenomenal blind that Omen has access to, which is just useful in a number of situations. The problem that I faced with Omen though is that I was so focused on like putting my smokes in the right places and using his skills, like they're like more complicated than ISO, which is just about killing. I'd end up doing some really dumb shit and dying. Exhibit A, B, C to Z here. So I feel like Omen is really fun, and it definitely feels better when you get kills on him, but you really need to know the setups, and I find that I can concentrate so much on trying to be tricky that I forget to kind of focus on the fundamentals like I did with ISO.
Last player standing.
And this pattern of feeling a little bit like overwhelmed on Omen compared to ISO, and with ISO being able to focus on just the skills to kill, was actually reflected in the data. When I played ISO, I got greater than 10 kills per match that I played, whereas with Omen it was on 10. And this is seen again in the kill to death ratio, with ISO having above 1 kill to death ratio per match, and Omen being like 0.81. This would be expected because with ISO I was more focused on getting kills, and Omen I was more focused on winning the game, so you would expect to see Omen winning the game more often, but that's not what I saw. Once again, ISO actually had a 70% win rate, and Omen had a 40% win rate. And so I basically think that, for me, I don't understand the Omen skills well enough yet, and I get overwhelmed using them, and it usually results in me dying, whereas ISO allows me to stay focused. Here's my theory.
You should run.
Okay, so in a way, I feel GameSense and aim are inseparable. You could have the best aim in the world, but if you're not positioning well or peeking properly, you're done. If you have got a really good reaction time, but someone's crosshair is sitting on your face as you come around the corner, they're obviously gonna kill you. So in my head, I like to divide GameSense up into like micro and macro GameSense. Micro GameSense being things like crosshair placement, positioning, and peeking, etc., like the fundamentals. While macro GameSense is more about things like communication, reading the enemy, map awareness, etc. I think ISO worked well for me because I was able to focus a lot on the micro GameSense and aim. If I tried focusing on the bigger picture stuff, I'd quickly get confused, and those like fundamentals slip pretty quickly. Like, I've got some examples here that I'm going to show you of ISO, where I was playing ISO and I was really focusing on those micro GameSense factors like crosshair placement. Now, to all you pros out there, this still probably looks bad, I'm well aware of that. But if you look at what I was doing previously, this is a big improvement. So this is me a week ago in a deathmatch, and a lot of people that saw my video see, you know, my aim was getting better, but my crosshair placement definitely needed some work. My peeking needed some work, and obviously you can see that here. And then a few days ago, I mean, I feel like it's improved a lot. I'm checking the corners a lot more where they can shoot from. I'm a lot smoother in my movements. I'm trying to aim my crosshair where I think they're going to be coming from. Trying to keep it high. Obviously, you pros would be like, that's terrible. But it's still a damn sight better than what I was doing. And so, you know, we're moving along in the right direction, guys. We're moving along in the right direction. And this is all just because I played ISO like entirely for a week, so hopefully it just gets better and better.
One enemy remaining.
And I have noticed lately, since when I've been careful about checking corners, peeking properly, crosshair placement, I've been getting a lot more kind of insane kills for me.
One enemy remaining.
And so it looks like ISO will be my main for the foreseeable future, and my next video is going to be focusing on those 3 things to see how much I can improve. Let me know what you all think, whether I've made the right choice, whether you think I should go ISO, whether you think I should go Omen, what you think about GameSense, what you think about aiming, all that kind of stuff. And thanks heaps to everyone that subscribed last week. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. See you later.